You're not publicly traded, but I bought shares of Adam. If Adam sold you shares of himself,
that's his problem.
That's between two hopefully consenting adults. And I hope one of the consenting adults was Adam. Me and this other person have both consented for me to sell him shares of Adam. Does Adam know? No.
All right, stories. So my first story, people are starting to look at loot boxes. Here's my take on it. If you buy a loot box and there's no way to get the stuff out of the game, like Overwatch skins, right? You can't like trade them, can you?
No.
Yeah. That's not gambling. You're just paying to possibly unlock something faster. You do what you want with your own money.
It depends on your definition of like gambling. Like it's
well, I mean, yeah, that's the
putting money in to get a random result. That's gambling, but in Overwatch I don't care because you're just putting money into it. There's no way to get the money back out.
What tips my this is gambling radar, and admittedly I actually don't enjoy gambling. I don't even like the little slot machine they added to Animal Crossing. Like I'm just like meh. Is when you can apparently the music was really loud at the end and somebody couldn't hear me.
I will look at that.
What tips me over it where I think it actually becomes like a problem is when, like, you know, for the PUBG skins and the CSGO knives and like Rocket League items and stuff that you can just trade. So and I realize that it's like, you know, technically, okay, I buy this and then I can sell this skin for X dollars. But what your brain shortcuts to is I just opened a $60 item. I just got $60, right?
Rocario, in PUBG there is not an option to buy an individual item. In Overwatch there is. But in PUBG you can buy the individual item if you use your real money and go to the Steam Marketplace and buy them from other players. In Overwatch you can't do that. In Overwatch, if you get a duplicate... In Overwatch, if you open a loot box, you have a chance for one of the items to just be a pile of gold in like different amounts. And if you get duplicates of something you already have, it just gets turned into gold, and you can just use the gold to buy directly the things that you want as an option.
Yeah, it is though. There is this idea, this tricky part about like, you know, legislating what is a loot box. I think is basically impossible without and it seems like any definition they put down for loot box. The amount of money that's on the line for these kind of things is enough that various extremely large, very powerful companies with lots of lawyers will easily make a version of loot boxes that is just different enough that it circumvents this thing. But you know, like they make a rule that like whatever something has to happen, you know, they have to have some certain criteria to not be a loot box. They're like, okay, we'll do that. But somehow we'll still make money on it. Like, I don't really see a way you can stop it without stopping the idea of random drops in video games, which seems unlikely to happen.
I just think that they should just not let you sell it outside the game. And I think that would solve a lot of problems.
But even that, like, you can't stop people from selling their character.
No, that's true. But
which happens in any games that don't have... a trading or a selling thing within the game, that happens. It makes it people just sell their character to other people.
Yeah.
So
people are like, what about TCG packs? I think there's a very specific reason Wizards doesn't acknowledge the secondary market.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's actually quite interesting. Like I can't think of any definition of loot box that doesn't also include like blind box, like real life blind boxes or magic packs.
Like blind box toys, they print on the side. It's like these are the odds of getting a different thing.
Like
some are more common, some are more rare, and you could theoretically, like anything that you own, sell it to someone else.
But they are identical to loot boxes, really.
Yeah,
they're just physical.
I think.
But I'd be curious to know, like way back in the day, if there was this same kind of moral questions about baseball cards when they came out. Like, I'd be curious to know if there was any like articles or, you know, people writing op-eds about how baseball cards are making kids gamble and stuff. Like, I'd be curious if that was something people thought about then.
Paul is very loud.
I'm very loud. I mean,
All right. So that was, yeah, it's a slippery slope. I don't purport to have all the answers.
like it's something that has to be kind of defined at some point. Why am I louder than everybody?
THQ, Graham.
Maybe it's just, maybe your mic's really close. I don't know.
Maybe you're just talking slightly louder than me and Graham.
I don't know. Yeah, the THQ thing is so weird.
It's really just...
Most of their assets were bought by a couple different companies, and Deep Silver, which was owned by Koch Media, not that Koch Media, like not the Koch brothers, different, same spelling but different people. Bought or owned Deep Silver. Deep Silver bought a bunch of franchises, including Saints Row, because they actually bought Volition and became Deep Silver Volition. And I thought that THQ Nordic had just bought Deep Silver, but actually they bought
Coke.
they bought Koch Media for like $149 million or something like that. And they're like, they've said that everything's going to continue.
Koch Media. Really? It rhymes with like Loch, as in Loch Ness.
Oh, this one's Koch Media? Okay. Everyone says the Koch brothers for the other people. And it's spelled the same way.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
Right. Koch Media, whatever. And they said that they'll like Deep Silver Volition will continue operating.
People would have made fun of us for.
Yeah. Deep Silver Volition will continue operating as its own company, just owned by Koch Media, which will continue operating as it is doing. It's just now it's owned by THQ Nordic. So
look,
good thing millions of dollars changed hands for nothing to change.
Yeah.
Look, we're getting new Darksiders. Darksiders 3 is coming out, so I don't care who's making it. I'm happy.
That's fair.
And Deep Silver Volition is working on a new AAA title, so.
The question, I mean, I guess.
That's because Agents of Mayhem went, as we
I guess
discussed last week.
The real question is whether they like have hired most of the same, like if most of the same people are working there.
Is that one of us making that knocking sound? Okay, it stopped.
I don't think so.
It sounded like there's someone. It sounded like there's someone on the other side of that wall. But that.
Not us.
Is it somebody on the roof, maybe? Because there's nobody else at the moon base.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, where is that noise coming from?
It's
physically?
a ghost. Ghost. Ghost, if
Someone
you're
at the
here,
door?
reveal your presence. Oh, look, no ghosts. Oh, well, I did hear knocking.
Like, it sounds like it's coming from the roof.
Maybe somebody's working on the roof. It's a sunny day.
Yeah.
It's a good day to do it if there's something that you
It's
didn't
so
get
cold
up
up
there.
there. Anyway, yeah, this like, no, it's not malware hidden in the flight sim.
Yeah, basically, I think the plan was... Okay, yeah,
Very distracting.
Now I definitely hear that. I think the plan was that they would try to figure out what the like real life identities of the people who had stolen the plugin were, and or the add-on, and then maybe, I don't know, like try to track them down and like sue them for piracy or something. This is a terrible idea. Don't do that. Don't fight fire with fire in that way. Don't steal information from people who have stolen from you.
What I love about this is like the response, the sort of weird, like, well, you know, that clearly our, you know, solutions was a little bit, you know, overly, you know, overly strong. We understand that now. It's like, okay, but can you just clarify for us what you were actually trying? It's like, what was your plan? What were you trying to do here? Like, what was the end game? Were you gonna just, like hold them for ransom?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have no idea.
Like, even if we're really generous and believe you, which I don't, by the way.
No, I don't believe them at all.
And then, yeah, Atari. 2 cryptocurrencies.
I don't even know anymore. This goes in with the like Kodak coins.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, cryptocurrency is a thing. We should do that thing. which I guess is something that these companies always did. But for some reason with cryptocurrency, because with cryptocurrencies, it's like even less, like, because there's no actual physical thing that they have to do, they basically just have to announce it.
Where's the breakdown between a cryptocurrency and like an in-app, like what's the difference between like buying gems in a mobile game and a cryptocurrency by the definitions that of like how Atari's using this thing? I mean, it's like you buy Atari coin and you can use it on this online service to buy movies and stuff, and it's like that sounds like
just the thing that everyone uses.
That sounds like adding like what was the remember the Microsoft Xbox thing used to use. They moved to actual just money now, but it used to be points.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? How is that different?
Well, yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, I think Sony still uses points.
No, they still they use money.
But like,
you have to add funds to your wallet, but they still use.
But
it's actually money. Yeah, just MS points.
Yeah,
it's on a public ledger, ideally.
Well, it's because like the idea, and that's the weird part, right? Like, because part of the idea of crypto coins is that they're on this public ledger, they're decentralized. And so everybody has access to this ledger, and the verification of whether a transaction was true or not is encoded in the blockchain, so that anybody can check that, and it's not forced to be, or you're not forced to deal with one central authority, which these like bespoke crypto coins seems like that kind of defeats that purpose. So yeah, I feel like it's just in-game currency, that they're just using the word crypto coin because that's like the buzzword.
I still don't fully understand
what is going on.
What a blockchain is, if I'm honest.
There's some good primers online, but now is not the time for us to figure out.
It's a chain of blocks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Speaking of other things that came up in the news, so have you heard of Kingdom Come? It is this sort of like hyper.
Oh, Kingdom Come, Deliverance.
Yes. It's kind of like super realistic game where it's like medieval and stuff. And
sorry, make a laxative tie-in. Kingdom Come, Deliverance. For healthy gut flora. Continue.
Laxatives aren't great for your gut flora.
I know.
But so basically what happened with this is that they're like, okay, so there's two ways to save. You can sleep in a bed and you can drink a potion of save. But the potion, it's like a saving schnapps. And the problem with that is that
it's literally called schnapps.
Yeah.
Wow.
The problem with that is you're not always near a bed, and sometimes you want to save before you're going to go into like combat. So you got to do the schnapps, which is expensive and literally makes your character drunk in game. And people are like, not.
So you have to
okay
get like drunk right before you go into the big boss fight.
Weird.
So people don't like that. So they're changing that because that's a stupid idea. And
are there like auto saves?
No, it's a really bad save mechanic.
There are no auto saves.
They don't want you to save scum.
So they're going to be adding like a save and quit option. So which kind of solves that problem, the save scumming issue, mostly.
Right.
But there's a great small drama thing on Reddit I saw the other day where just somebody was just so incensed that other people might want an easier saving solution that they were so incredibly. It's like, well.
Oh, there are autosaves after some quests. Okay, sorry. Continue.
But it's like, whoa, you want, so you don't have to go through all the work with saving? Well, why bother even have you? Yeah, when you walk somewhere, it takes a lot of time. Why not just teleport everywhere? Why not just have no combat? That would be easier.
It's like, whoa there. How about you pump the brakes?
I mean, the other thing with Kingdom Come is there's this weird thing been with like patches on it, because it's been, shall we say, a little on the buggy side.
Yes, I was reading an article about that this morning.
And there was a day one patch that was something like 25 gigs.
Okay.
It was basically the game again.
Yeah.
Because of apparently how they did the file format on it made it so that like if they make a few changes, the entire the big archive files had to be redone.
Okay.
And then a week later, there was something like a 15 gigabyte patch. And then they've been having problems with the different consoles certification processes taking different amounts of time. So you have like the PC people get a patch, and then the Xbox people are like, so where's that patch? And they're like, oh, it's coming. And they're like, we would really like to be able to shoot bows while crouched. And they're like, it's coming, it's coming.
Wow. All right.
Other than that, it's supposed to be there's been some very positive stuff about the game, but it's just
I've heard some pretty negative stuff too. Not like bad, just like,
It's got some growing pains, let's say.
As Xanthia says, it's trying to be hyper realistic, and it's not that fun as a result.
Yeah.
Which is a common like that's the thing is like if I wanted to be in real life, I wouldn't play video game.
I mean, there's always
also,
that balance.
the past was shit, and I don't think people truly appreciate that. They're like, yes, the great days of knights, and it's like, yeah, and abscesses that killed you, fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't that our old was that a checkpoint slogan where was a feed dump maybe? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Fuck the past.
Fuck the past.
Where
It
did
was
we
awful.
start saying
I don't know.
that?
I think I watched a Worst Jobs in History or Dirtiest Jobs in History or whatever it was.
Oh.
But like,
With
what a good
Baldrick,
show.
what's his face?
Yeah,
Tony Robinson.
Tony Robinson, yeah.
there's always that balance between like realism and actually being fun.
Yeah,
Correct.
exactly.
And you gotta find that. I mean, they've already, like, clearly, even though it's a pain in the ass to use, schnapps that saves your game doesn't exist in the real world. So, like, they've said they're definitely making compromises.
They didn't even have airplanes, let alone the malware to put on them. Yes, the past was truly an awful time.
Hey, Sims 4 modding story? Did you read that, Kathleen?
I did. Apparently, there's a guy who's making $6,000 a month making sure that your characters can do drugs in The Sims.
Wow, good for him.
Because people had a lot. Apparently,
The dream.
a lot of people had made
Smoke weed every day.
Yeah. Get your Sims. Well, so apparently a lot of people had made like, I think they call it like clutter, which is just like stuff that you can put around.
Right.
So people had made like lines of cocaine and like different things so you could like put them around.
Right.
But they didn't do anything.
Right.
And so this guy got in there and actually did the programming to make it so the Sims like interact with them and react to them, and they can get addicted, and they can, they have withdrawal.
impressive.
You can tell them to take drugs. They'll take drugs by themselves. If you have the patch or the mod that we talked about a long time ago, the sex one where there's like all the different sex things. Apparently they'll have sex in exchange for drugs. So that's great. Apparently, my favorite part though is
Let me tell you how much money I'm making. Not that much. Not nearly that much.
My favorite part is how you start the mod, like how you activate the having, because you can have the mod installed and it won't actually do anything. How you activate having drugs in your Sims game is you make a character move in next door to them that's like drug dealer, and he starts selling them drugs.
Wow.
That's amazing.
It's like just in the neighborhood goes to pot, literally.
Mattel is making a Tomb Raider figure as a tie-in with the upcoming Tomb Raider movie.
It's not a Tomb Raider Barbie.
No,
Barbie is not a Tomb Raider. It's like it is a Tomb Raider Barbie. Right? Like from the line of Barbie. There's a Wonder Woman Barbie.
Yeah, it's
Who's
not
Wonder Woman.
It's
not Barbie
like,
pretending to be
like
Wonder
how
Woman.
Barbie is
A vet.
at all times a vet, a doctor, a
Computer
door-to-door
programmer.
makeup salesman, an astronaut, and
in a terrible love triangle
Secretary of
with
State, I
like
don't
3
know.
other Barbies.
yeah, it's not Barbie is Tomb Raider. It's Lara Croft.
A doll by the makers of Barbie.
Yeah, but she's got like better elbow and knee articulation and like buff upper arms and shoulders and a climbing axe.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, my take on that was that, the headlines are all like
It's
Tomb Raider Barbie.
It's Tomb Raider Barbie. Yeah.
And which is one of those things. It's like I bet Lara Croft, both, in the real world and probably in the world of Tomb Raider, I feel like Tomb Raider Barbie was used as like an insult.
It sounds like an insult. Yeah. For someone.
Yeah.
Yeah. How is that not just an action figure? It's an action figure. It's just made by
Mattel.
It's made by the people who make Barbie.
Yeah.
And it looks like it could be a Barbie. It's just
and because of the sort of target
more range of motion.
younger kid target market, they give her her climbing axe, but not like her bow and arrow and guns and stuff.
Yeah.
Although I'm pretty sure you use the climbing axe to stab people in the head in the game, but you could also use it to climb, so it's multi-purpose.
Yeah. It's not only a weapon.
I did not read about Cat Condo.
It's a cat clicker.
It's a clicking game. You click and cats show up, and then you click cats and you can combine them to make other cats.
Yeah.
That's how making different breeds of cats works.
What's the lore? Is it like they're breeding?
They're just showing. I think you're just
in the game.
I think you're just combining them. They don't actually
like
breed.
Tribbles.
Because you get like a different cat.
They're like tribbles. They just pop into existence and are a hassle.
It sounds a little bit like threes, except it's cats that you're combining instead of numbers. Like you combine the cats, and then you get more cats, and you combine them, and then as you level up, you get more places to put cats. It's an idle clicker game. It's just instead of making cookies, you're making cats.
Yeah, exactly.
You read a bit about the Donkey Kong thing? Do you have a TLDR? No? Okay.
No.
There's a Donkey Kong
There's an
thing.
article on Kotaku about the secret Donkey Kong history that a bunch of people made up.
Oh,
that has nothing to do with
Yeah.
this. Is not supported in the game, and the article is incredibly detailed, but everything is confusing and dumb. Not a fault of the author. It's just like, trying to explain these incredibly tenuous fan theories.
Basically, the idea is that like, how can you fit all of the Donkey Kong games, including like the early ones with Mario, into one chronology?
Okay, yeah, I've seen that done. I've seen that done with Legend of Zelda games, and it's a bad idea.
Well, Legend of Zelda has an official thing.
Yes.
But with Donkey Kong, because they sort of pretend that there's a weird chronology in country.
Yeah.
Like they mentioned that like there's weird little references, and so somebody did it. Plus, my favorite part about it is trying to explain the fact that a lot of the enemies in Donkey Kong Country have like military outfits, with this idea that there was like between Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Country, there's like some terrible war that happened.
All the crops have like camo and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's never explained why.
No. And then you're like, this is really dumb. It's so stupid. Like, hats off to you if you put a lot of work into it, but it's dumb. It's like YouTube clickbait, the definition thereof.
And that's about it, I think.
Yeah, it was kind of a slow news week this week. But that's okay.
We talked. I can't read that username. Wodar. We talked about that last week. There's like been a little. Actually, there hasn't really been anything else since last week. We talked in the after show about how Billy Mitchell went on his friend's radio show and said no.
Yeah, there's nothing new to report there. We did 2 weeks in a row.
I think it may actually have been like officially rescinded now. Like it was being contemplated before.
I'm
and
sure when it's officially rescinded, we'll hear about it.
But yeah, for some reason I thought it was funny that EVE Online just made they have put a new stuff in place to deal with people using bots in EVE Online.
Oh yeah,
which, considering how much stuff in EVE Online is like sort of not realistic, but like trying to create a real working sort of economy and culture, it seems like bots might be just sort of part of that.
It's like a thing that people in that universe would make.
It's like robots took our jobs.
Yeah.
Like it's like, hey, if you could design a bot that mines for you, go ahead. That seems like it should be fine.
Yeah, there's a remaster of the Spyro trilogy coming out for PS4 this year. So,
oh, really?
So that's cool.
I know there's been a lot of people asking for that because they've been annoyed because Spyro, the only place Spyro has been in is like the
Skylanders.
The Skylanders, and they're like, I want a real Spyro game.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely played all the old the first like 3 Spyro games. I think I rented them. Okay.
Let's do the subs.
Yeah, that's all we got. We're
Yep.
spent on news.
It wasn't a deep news week. It was a weird news week.
It was apparently a week about people attempting to pretend to be other companies.
Yeah.
Already, let me open up the thingy doodle. And let's thank the people who have subscribed, starting with
Yay.
Oh,
Meekenstein as a new subscriber. Welcome.
And Lord Byron for 7 months says, if I were a porcupine, I'd have a sub baby by now.
Brian, I believe. God of Muffins, with a 43-month resub, says beep boop.
MTG the best for 2 months for sub baby. Wait.
Pitzer 1987 is a brand new subscriber. Welcome to the channel.
Welcome, and also welcome back to Dirge Novak for 15 months.
Stofern for 53 months says boop.
Wow, that's a long time. Phosphatide for 5 months says, please point all checks directly towards the lure.
Nick the Nail 1324 with a 3-month resub. 3 months of lure, 3 months of joy. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Awful Neutral for 5 months. I resubbed on Friday, but for some reason I can share it again. So hooray.
Hooray.
Hooray for
right.
you.
Pongo Sapiens for 47 months says, really? Almost 4 years? Wow, that's correct.
Yeah. Intrepid Colin, also 37, oh no, not also. 37 months. Graham rocking that hard Don Johnson look.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Bronze Finger for 50 months.
Woo!
Wazelda for 15 months says, that's half a creature month.
Half a century month,
Century month.
I think.
Oh,
Vertec 289 with 13-month resub will sub for Piggle Pennies.
that makes a lot more sense.
Forced Reject for 18 months. Coast Guard Souvenirs Inc. presents its newest sensation, rock music. You'll never believe the main reason is.
Coast Guard souvenirs.
Pyre Dynasty for 17 months says, you guys should sell lure loot boxes that only contain Piggle Pennies.
I think, I don't, Scar Red Tiger, 21-month resub. Off to the movies. Enjoy your BC equivalent to Family Day.
Funny story.
Yeah, we'll tell you after.
Oni Squirrel for 11 months. Ghost.
Ghost.
Gast. Lord Byron 47
This one's Byron.
for 16 months says, those 16 months flew by. Thanks for all the great content.
Rocario with an 11-month resub. Gotta love finding out your sub is lapsed when you try to use an emote and it doesn't work, Beach. I'm sorry, Rocario, but welcome back.
Edgar J for 8 months. Welcome back.
Rio said for 22 months says that 22 months, that's the second 2-digit palindrome, made up of 2 2s no less.
Schnapsy. The saving Schnapsy with a 19-month resub says, woo.
Night Tech Go 06 for 7 months.
House of Shadow for 5 months says, hey, catching the end of the checkpoint, great show.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Hibbity Bobbity with a 23-month resub. Welcome back.
And thank you for 601 bits from Foxmar320, Azure Shock, Earthen One, Dilapidated Boat Skarsgård,
yeah.
The Seg, and Rock Pusher.
Hey, so Family Day okay, this is a true story. In British Columbia was last week. Not that we take the day off anyhow, because the internet demands content at all times. But Family Day was offset in British Columbia by a week. And I kid you not, when the last government introduced it, because many provinces have a family holiday in February, so you get a stat holiday in like almost every month in Canada. So it's Family Day in like
Because there
Ontario
wasn't
and
anything
stuff,
else
and-
in February. So.
yeah, and like it's a different holiday in Quebec and stuff. But they introduced it in BC to sort of catch us up. But the last government set it a week before because the tourism lobby wanted to have 2 weekends in a row of tourists. Local tourists one weekend and then American tourists the next weekend. So our holiday was offset from everybody else in Canada.
Considering the holiday is entirely arbitrary, I feel like that's as good a reason as any.
I guess it just means that it's not the same as the rest of the country.
Right.
So like anybody with family from out of province was just like, this sucks.
Can't connect.
Also, if you worked for the federal government, it wasn't a day off for you because
Because they don't have families. I guess.
no.
Because nobody loves them.
So
There's new sub. I get it. but it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So the new government, which is from a different party, just moved it, and most people are like, people are either like, I don't care, or oh, that's actually a hugely positive change. Thank you. Like it does for the people it doesn't affect, nobody cares as long as we still get a stat holiday, and for the people who does affect, it's like, oh, that's actually awesome.
Yeah.
So they moved it?
They moved
so
it.
next year.
Will be moved for
Next year, it'll be
Next
this
year.
week.
Oh,
It'll
that'd
be
be
the
sweet
third
if-
Tuesday or the third Monday in February.
What they should have done if they wanted to be popular is move it. We have the first one, and then they move it a week forward, and then we just have it again.
Double family day.
Yeah, double family day.
For big families.
Yeah.
All right. That's going to do it. Come back in a couple hours. It's, what is it, 2:45?
2 hours.
So a little over 2 hours for Dice Friends.
Woo!
When we last left our heroes, well, I won't spoil it, but let's just say things were not going well.
No,
I
things
think I
have
was
gone
in-
And I feel
badly.
like I could, that actually qualifies for any episode of Dice Friends.
Yeah,
but-
I believe I was in midair at the time.
Correct.
So the three of us and
Yes.
Beej with
It
Dale.
was not a cliffhanger.
Yeah, with Dale the DM
As a
and
portal hanger.
Heather on Tech will be back tonight for Dice Friends.
Yeah.
So come back for that. Until then, enjoy your afternoon.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.